Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course, and we are pleased to be joined by a full-time driver. First time since 2019. Garrett Smithley is on here. Hard to believe this is actually one of my first interview with him. And I've known him for a long time. It's just haven't had a chance to do this. But thanks so much for coming on and talking with us. And obviously excited about this morning's announcement that you're going to be going full-time with BJ McLeod Motorsports in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2023. How exciting is this? And first time you're going full-time since I think 2019 when you were driving the number nothing car.
Yeah, that's right. No, thanks for having me on. I'm glad I have something to talk about to you now. So, but yeah, I'm super excited about it. Obviously, been a crazy few years. My last full-time season was 2019, the season before COVID, and then COVID hit, and I was with Rick Ware Racing and ended up doing a bunch of races for him over the course of the next few years, and got a lot of good experience in the Cup Series. But with the new car and just how everything's kind of played out, just the opportunities haven't been as plentiful as I would have hoped. And at the end of the day, it's super hard to even have a seat at the table. So I've been talking to BJ for a little bit now, and I fortunately got to race a few of his cars this year in the Xfinity Series, and just kind of turned into a conversation where, hey, he had an opportunity, and we had some sponsorship, and we just kind of made it work. So we just kind of got our heads together. BJ has been a friend of mine in the garage for a very long time, so I'm certainly excited to be back full time, and definitely happy to do it with BJ and Jessica McLeod for sure.
Yeah. So of course you've been in that car for a couple times this season. Of course, you've also been in the Cup car as well. Of course, it was also announced that let's talk about that sponsor you have on there. Trophy Tractor will be a main partner of yours throughout the 2023 season. What was that like to partner with them? And kind of explain what they are and what they do.
Yeah, so you've mentioned the Zero car back when I was at JD Motorsports full time in 2018, I believe, is when I met Jeff Miller and Luann and Max, his Jeff's son. They've been absolutely awesome to me. They've been great partners. So they're based in Burleson, Texas, down kind of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they sell big, heavy machinery equipment. As you can see on my shirt, we got the silhouette of the bulldozer. They've got big irons, so I always joke to Jeff, he just plays around with giant Tonka toys is what he does. But so he actually let me drive one of his big 200-ton dump trucks, which was super cool. It's basically like driving an apartment. You're up 2.5 stories driving around. It's crazy. But yeah, they've been such great partners, great family. They're so fun to be around. They love racing. They did a lot of off-road trophy truck stuff, and I think that's where the name Trophy Tractor kind of came from. But they've been huge supporters of me, and there was a path with BJ for them to kind of step up what they were doing in a different way. We're doing some unique things with them this year. So yeah, I'm super excited to have them. Wouldn't be here sitting here talking to you without the support from Trophy Tractor, and I'm just fortunate to have them and people that are so passionate about the sport in general. It's definitely fun.
Yeah, and of course you've been everywhere. I mean, streaming on Twitch, iRacing, doing all that fun stuff. While running part-time with some teams. What has the past few years been like, and what has that like taught you about yourself throughout all this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I this is probably the first time in a while that I've gone into an off season knowing that I have a job. It is incredibly difficult to stick around and be in the garage area, especially in today's world. You have to work hard. You cannot let off the gas, literally and figuratively, if you're gonna make it in this deal. And 2015 was my first time running anything in NASCAR, making my first Truck Series debut, and then fortunately I got with JD Motorsports for the next 4 years, and then got opportunities with Rick Ware in the Cup Series. And every step of the way, it's been it's been difficult. It's always, like I said, it's tough to stay in the garage area, but we've worked hard. I've had some really really good people around me, really good partners, really good car owners that have become family to me. So it's certainly been a journey, and people ask me all the time. It's like, don't you get tired of doing what you're doing, and being so kind of you know here and there, just trying to figure out what your career's, what direction it's going. And it's just, as long as you have fun, you have passion for it, and you're still you're still enjoying what you're doing. It's cool to wake up and go drive race cars for a living at the end of the day, no matter how hard of work it is, no matter what type of deal that we're doing, no matter how many no's I get from sponsors. It's still, at the end of the day, get to go on the weekend and race cars. And this weekend, going to Phoenix and go into championship weekend for, I don't know, this is like my third or fourth year in the Cup Series running on championship weekend. It's super cool to be out there with those guys, and hopefully one day I get to the chance that I can go for a championship. But even if I don't, it's still incredible to be at this level, and dream come true for myself as a 5-10 year old kid. This is what I want to be doing, and no matter what it was going to take, I was going to make it happen,
Yeah.
or at least try.
Well, you just mentioned it. You're going to be racing this weekend, of course, in the 15 for Rick Ware Racing in the Cup Series, as the 2022 season comes to a close. Going into your last race of the season, what has it been like this year? What's it been like running with the team so far, and how do you think you've done so far with and just learning this new car?
Yeah, it's been it's been a difficult year, I think, for all of us, and I say the industry included. I think it's been a huge learning curve for everybody involved. I think drivers, owners, crew chiefs, mechanics, the sanctioning body, we're all trying to wrap our heads around what this car is and what it looks like and how it races. And there's just so many variables with that. But I feel like everybody's done a good job adapting. I think that that's why we're all in the position that we're in, right? We all adapt. That's why I think we got to this level. We find a way, we figure it out, and it's been a lot of fun. I think our team, Rickware Racing, has done a great job evolving to be where they're at. I didn't run the Daytona 500, but I was in the West Coast swing, so ran Auto Club Vegas Phoenix. I probably was the only driver on the grid at Auto Club that didn't have next gen experience going into that race, whether it be testing or sim time or anything like that. So that was definitely a challenge, but we arose to the occasion, finished 21st, which is still to this day my career best finish in the Cup Series. So that was good, and we had a few good runs. We went to Texas a few weeks ago and ran 23rd. We were really happy with that for our team. That's huge, and 23rd on the lead lap. It's huge for Rickware Racing. So it's been cool to learn, and I've been fortunate to be in this situation. I certainly want to continue doing Cup races. I think a goal of mine is to run at least, I'd like to run a minimum of 5 next year. Obviously, BJ has a Cup team, but we're focused on the Xfinity side right now and trying to make all that stuff work. But not closing the door on Rickware Racing, not closing the door on Live Fast, not closing the door on any Cup opportunities, because at the end of the day, my end goal at some point in NASCAR is to be full-time Cup. That's what it's always been. So, but like I said, we're focusing 2023 on full-time Xfinity season, and if I can jump in the Cup car for a few times in 2023, that'd be an added bonus.
Yeah. Also, just to ask, do you know who your crew chief is yet?
No, we're still figuring out all those details.
Also, just looking in to be full time in something again. I know you've talked about this several times, but what is it going to be like going into Daytona next year and like, oh, I'm running all the races again?
Yeah, kind of going back to your other question about, what have I learned about myself over these last few years? I've learned more about myself this year probably than I ever have. This was a milestone year. I turned 30, which I was terrified of. I would say for anybody turning 30, don't be terrified. It's actually really cool. It's been an interesting year being away from the racetrack, and it's kind of put a lot of perspective on a lot of different things. Did some different things that I haven't done in the past. Different goals, different figuring out what's important, what's not important. So definitely personally learned a lot about myself this year, and this is the least amount that I've raced probably since my first season in NASCAR in 2015, running 4 truck races and 1 Xfinity race. So with that said, being full time is going to be really awesome. I've been fortunate enough with BJ to run a few Xfinity races recently, and I didn't realize how much I missed being at the racetrack. Didn't realize that until I went back and kind of went consistently back to back to back at racetracks. And even, I went up to Martinsville this past weekend, even though I wasn't racing, and I'll be in Phoenix. So it's definitely been nice. It's where I belong. It's my place. It's where I'm the happiest. And it's just going to be nice to build a notebook, to build on BJ McLeod Motorsports, and trying to pump them back up. I don't think it's a secret that they've struggled this year. They've had some really, really awful luck. So I hope that I can bring a fresh face into the fold of BJ McLeod Motorsports, and motivate these guys to have a lot of fun, and to compete as much as we possibly can, and temper our expectations, but still set our goals high, so we can go compete and have fun doing it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Garrett Smithley, thank you so much for coming on. Congrats on today's announcement. Of course, he'll be full time with BJ McLeod Motorsports in 2023 in the Xfinity Series. And by the way, also good luck this weekend at Phoenix in the Cup car.
Thank you, Casey. I appreciate it.